What is going on, everybody? Prodigal Lion here. I have some great news for all of us Last of Us fans. So as you know, today was Outbreak Day, and Naughty Dog was revealing all kinds of stuff about The Last of Us Part 2 today. They were showing some more gameplay, mostly because like from the demos, they were showing some of the demos that the media and journalists were playing while they were out there. They had revealed some kind of in-depth behind-the-scenes video that I watched on YouTube. It was about 10 minutes long. They revealed some like new merchandise, free theme that you can download onto the PS4. It's a dynamic theme, so all kinds of good stuff. My phone will not stop going off. But one of the things that they had mentioned that really upset me and many people in the Last of Us community was that there would not be a factions mode in the game. Now, I didn't ever actually watch exactly what was said. I just saw it on Twitter and it started quickly spreading. Long story short, I guess whoever said it in a way where they said the Last of Us is a single player game and they focused only on the single player. So they never really said there is no multiplayer mode. Apparently they pretty much entirely confirmed it, I guess, indirectly. But about a half hour ago, Naughty Dog actually went ahead and responded to that with an update on what the multiplayer is for The Last of Us. So let me go and read it. We wanted to address multiplayer in The Last of Us Part 2. As we've stated, the single player campaign is far and away the most ambitious project Naughty Dog has ever undertaken. Likewise, as development began on the evolution of our factions mode from The Last of Us Part 1, the vision of the team grew beyond an additional mode that could be included with our enormous single-player campaign. Wanting to support both visions, we made the difficult choice that The Last of Us Part 2 would not include an online mode. However, you will eventually experience the fruits of our team's online ambition, but not as part of The Last of Us Part 2. When and where it will be realized is still to be determined. But rest assured, we are as big a fan of factions as the rest of our community and are excited to share more when it's ready. Now, that is very good news. So, simply put, what this is saying, just to break it down real quick, is that there is an online mode. There is an online mode that the team has been working on. It's not going to launch with The Last of Us Part 2, though. Now, what I'm guessing about this is that what it sounds like they're saying is it grew beyond just an additional mode to The Last of Us. So, as you know, in the original Last of Us factions was basically just the online mode. It completely followed Last of Us maps, completely followed the entire Firefly versus Hunters idea, and then also was taking place on maps that were inspired by locations you were actually at within the game. So that's what it looks like it started as. It looked like it started building off of what factions was in the first Last of Us, and it started including stuff from the new Part 2 game, but then it started going beyond that and they started becoming more inspired. So my bet is that whatever they're working on is not really Last of Us related. It probably has a lot of inspiration from The Last of Us. I wouldn't be surprised if it has a lot of the similar mechanics to it, but it's probably so grown past like what The Last of Us would offer. They probably just didn't feel comfortable including it with The Last of Us and tying it to that name. It's probably gonna have slightly different mechanics. It's probably gonna have slightly different ideas. Probably gonna have I don't know. I have no idea. It's probably gonna be some kind of survival-based, slow, methodical game. Hopefully, that's what I liked about factions. Because they're still referencing to factions, saying they're just a bit as big of factions as the rest of our community, so and are excited to share more. So they're still hinting that whatever this is going to be similar to factions, but it's not factions. My biggest thing that I'm curious about is it going to release as an entirely separate game? Is it going to be some kind of post-launch DLC? Is it going to be free to download later on after the game comes out, and then maybe microtransactions or something will be paid, or will be how they get their money, I should say? I don't know. I have so many questions about this, but this excites me, because when I heard the news break earlier about there being no factions, I was so bummed. Like, it was so unexpected, so out of left field. I did not expect it. I was like dead set that there would be a factions mode. So when I heard that come out, I was bummed. I was super bummed. But this right here gives me hope. I'm very excited for this. I don't know what it's going to be, but whatever it is will be amazing, because I've always loved the online aspect. I've always loved Naughty Dog's online modes. I loved Uncharted 2. I loved Uncharted 3. I love factions. Uncharted 4 we just will not talk about. But I'm very glad though to hear that they are backing us up and they're not entirely ignoring the factions community, because like I said, the factions was one of my favorite multiplayer games of all time, if not my favorite. Just so fun, so unique, so different. And I got worried for a second that they were just kind of abandoning multiplayer because they just felt like single player was all they needed or something, and they just wanted to ignore the factions community. So this really kind of puts me at ease. I'm glad that they're not ignoring their fan base and they love factions and they love the community and that they want to support it. But obviously at this point, there's no further information on it. Anything else would just be speculation. My bet is it's going to be some sort of online game mode that's heavily inspired by The Last of Us and the original factions, but it's going to be not really entirely entirely related to The Last of Us. But that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so excited. I already know any of you watching this are going to be hugely excited for this, because if you're anything like me, you're a huge part in the factions community. Loved the game, played it like crazy, put all kinds of hours into it, and this is going to definitely put a lot of us at ease, knowing that there is a future multiplayer mode coming. Even if it's not coming at the launch, I'm totally fine with that. It'll also be a way for us to focus just on the single player when this game comes out, but then once many of us have already played the single player, then we'll get multiplayer later on. Great news though, totally excited. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing for more The Last of Us content. But that is all for now. I will see you guys next time.